ghost. Okay, who's the ghost? Denial. Not facing the truth, refusing to give in, refusing to unveil themselves. There's been no contact with this person. They're trying to deny this connection around winter. There might have been something around winter that has happened to you with some sort of person, or it will be happening around winter, something around the winter time. It also could mean just being in the state of being dead. You know, like the winter is about nature kind of going to sleep for a while and then re-emerging again. So it could just mean that someone is not giving you any sort of energy at this time. There's a ghost just lurking. They're in denial about something. Maybe this is contradicting. So 1:11 on the clock. They're contradicting how they feel and what they're doing. King of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. And the Page of Swords. This person is strange. They have conflicting viewpoints right now. They have two different ways of thinking about things. They're curious, but they're not showing any sort of curiosity to you specifically. This person is very level-headed. He's a King of Pentacles, and he wants to invest wisely, and that's why he's curious about this. But there's denial, and there's contradicting actions happening here. Someone that is unsure, you should just consider it a no. It doesn't matter how important or how much you're attracted to somebody. It doesn't matter if you feel contradicting energy. If you're wishy-washy, if they can't make a decision clearly, if they go back and forth on their decision making, if they just give you these non-answer answers because they can't be straightforward with you, just consider it a no. It doesn't mean that it's a forever no, but it means that it's just not going to be good for you to get involved with someone that's back and forth, up and down. They don't know. They don't want to give in to the truth, I guess. They don't want to give in to their curiosity. Which is strange. What else? Celebrate the love you share with those who matter most. They don't want to give in to a connection for some reason. The ex, healing from the past heartbreak takes time. That could mean something right there. We have an ex that's making them feel illusions. And what else? Nurture your relationships like blooming flowers and they'll flourish. So on one side of the scenario, they want to celebrate and nurture a new connection, but they're in denial. There's some sort of ex involvement here, and there's some sort of illusions about how they feel or what they should feel or what they think that they should feel. Again, this is not energy that you want to entertain in any sort of fashion. Someone that isn't clearly set on their foundation of what they want is someone that you don't want to get involved in because their foundation is shaky already. They don't have a clear sense of what they want. There's contradicting viewpoints, there's contradicting actions that this person is taking, so you don't want to get involved with that. It's just going to give you anxiety, it's going to give you stress, and it's going to give you more problems in the future because this person can flip. Because they don't know what's going on. They're curious and they have positive thoughts here, but at the same time their actions aren't matching their thoughts and their thought patterns. So this person is skittish at best. What else with this denial? There you go, Ten of Swords. The X, illusions. I think this person is feeling they're scared to get hurt again, or they're still going through this mucky energy of getting out, right? Even though they might be curious about somebody else or something else, they're not ready. And again, someone that's not ready to get into a relationship is a no. It's just a no. You can't force someone to heal faster than they can. It's up to them, and it doesn't matter how bad you think this would be a great connection. It doesn't matter how great of a person you think they are. If they're not ready, you can't force them to be ready faster. It just doesn't work like that. That's why they're remaining in this denial, ghost energy. They're afraid to give to the wrong person. They've been shut out in the cold and used. See these two cards together? That sucks. Like, they were charitable. They gave their hearts, you know, they gave their life to the wrong person, and then they were shut out. They feel left out in the cold. They feel like the world is basically against them, which again is not the right mind frame to go forward at this time. They're still licking their wounds. They're still grieving about their ex. They're still going over all the illusions that have happened. They're still taking, you know, personal notes about what really happened here. They're still hurt, basically, and that's why they don't want to face the truth of going forward, because they're not ready to. There's a transition here. They're afraid to transition into the future, right? You have to move on. You have to take what you have left and then basically turn your back to the past and move on, like, you know, these people are doing. The Hermit, which is basically their energy right now. So they've been hurt, they've been backstabbed, there's been an ending here, there's an ex that they're still grieving over. They do want to, you know, kind of move on, and they do want to invest, but at this time they're only curious about that. They're not actually making moves at this time. They're kind of in a stuck energy of being like, okay, well, it's like someone that has to cross a bridge, and they're on one side of the bridge and they look to the other side and they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go on this bridge, you know, but they know that where they are now isn't somewhere where they want to stay. So you have to pick the lesser of two evils. Do you stay where you are in this energy where you definitely know is not good, it's a negative place that you're in, or do you face the bridge, right? This scary bridge of going forward again, feeling vulnerable, putting yourself out there, right? To be able to cross over and find some sort of new nurturing, it says, a new relationship that's going to be nurturing, that's you'll be able to celebrate. But they're not facing the truth. They're still almost lying to themselves here, right? They're ghosting themselves on purpose. Like, they're the ghost. They don't want to go forward at this time. You have to muster enough energy and courage to be like, how bad do you really want your future to change? It really comes down to that, because you could stay in a negative sense. You could stay in this heartbroken energy forever. You know, some people just stay in this mind frame of just being like, I'm hurt, I gave my heart, I was put out in the cold, I'm taking whatever I have left, which isn't much, from this endings or defeat card, and I'm staying to myself. I'm soul searching at this time. Whether it's you or another person here, you're soul searching at this time, and that is an important step. You have to muster enough. It's not just curiosity, it's, you know, this guidance that you have to give yourself of being like, okay, well, am I ready to cross the bridge over to something that's actually healthy for me? How bad do you want to be in a healthy relationship? How bad do you want to be in a healthy life? You can stay in denial and almost live in this way where you're disassociating from the truth of what's happening around you, right? You're delusional, you know, just try to stay quote unquote content or happy, but you're still dealing with all these inner feelings. So in order to do that, you do have to be a little bit introspective and really start to wonder, like, why am I denying this? Is it because you just don't want to admit defeat? Is it that you don't want to go through another hard time? You're already in a hard time. Like, where you are now isn't fun. So how bad do you want to get out of it? You know, you have to actually go through more difficult times in order to get somewhere. Unfortunately, it's not an easy paved road. It's going to be rocky. It's going to be hard to follow sometimes. But to have the curiosity here, to invest wisely again. This King of Pentacles, this person who's very stable in their way of thinking about things. I don't think this is going to last for a very long time with the denial here. You can only deny the truth for so long, and then you have to face it. And some people will go through so many hoops to deny the actual truth that's in front of them. They might do drugs, they might drink a lot, they might distract themselves with other relationships, they might distract themselves with friends, spending money, you know, too much, or gambling, or whatever it is, the vice that they have in order to just deny the actual truth. You're putting yourself through even more of a disservice that way. You're 11-11, so you're denying the inevitable. You might as well just face it head on, you know, take the ghost, turn the light on, and stop being a ghost, you know, of the past, because the past can make you into a ghost if you just let it yourself succumb to what has happened before. If you've experienced a lot of loss, it could be financial loss too. It's heartbreak and loss here. It's really hard to not become cynical over everyone, because it seems like sometimes you could be so overwhelmed by people around you that are constantly just angry people, or just negatively charged people, you know, that are constantly tearing you down, or constantly competing with you, constantly lying about you, constantly giving you shit, basically, right? You could become very cynical and almost just be like, I hate everybody. I hate everybody. Everyone sucks, you know? But that is also a spell in itself, because they want you to just deny any sort of opportunity in the future that you can have. So you still have to remain optimistic and know that there are ways to celebrate your life. There are people that you want to celebrate with still. And just because you might feel like you're overwhelmingly surrounded by assholes that always are angry at you for some reason, even though you keep to yourself, you do your own thing, there's no reason for them hating you. It can be very overwhelming and be just monotonous. It's just like people competing for this fake illusion of status, people competing for a fake illusion of getting ahead of you. You know, they'll try everything to trip you up, you know, and isolate you, so you struggle even more. And if you succumb to that energy and you don't do anything about it, you know, that's what they want you to do. They want you to remain stuck. That's their whole game. They can't bet on anything else because they have nothing to bet on. All they're doing is trying to bet against you. They're, you know, in the stock market, you can bet the stock going up, or you can short it, you know, and bet the stock going down. They're constantly betting on you going down, and they'll try to manipulate the markets, the social market, to go against you as well, because again, they're forcing an outcome. It's like insider trading. It's like they're gonna gossip about you, they're gonna try and manipulate you, they're gonna fuck with your brain, the way you think about things. They're gonna gang up on you so you feel like the whole world is against you, and they want you isolated. You have to realize that not every single person is like that, even though the overwhelming majority might be. There are still good people out there. There are still gentle souls that don't care about competing and dealing in evil energies. You have to remember and keep that in your heart, because if you stay in a denial of never being able to get what you want, if you ghost yourself into not experiencing things that you do deserve, you deserve to be here. If you're on this earth, you deserve to be here. You deserve to be who you are. You deserve to live. You know, if you are a responsible person and you take care of yourself, people around you, you're polite, you take care of animals, the environment, you take care of your surroundings, You're not, mucking around in people's business for no reason and being basically a jerk off, you might feel like you're the only person sometimes, but you're not. And you have to remind yourself that people like to gang up on people like this because it's really easy to just give up. It's really easy to just give up on people, especially how many times can you be stabbed in the heart? How many times can you be put on the cold? How many times could you give, wholeheartedly to people and then they just shut you out? It's a weird competitive energy that people have, and it comes from a really ugly, dark place. So even if people are like that around you and you feel like everyone that you come in contact with is a fucking asshole, you have to remind yourself that assholes outnumber the good people, unfortunately. They make themselves known at least more. Good people, gentle people, kind people don't need to blurt out that they're kind-hearted people. Assholes like to do that though. Assholes like to be really loud and obnoxious and push themselves in your face. So it might seem like there's more assholes out there than kind-hearted people, but the kind-hearted people remain a little bit more quiet. They live by example. They don't need to shove their doings in your face. Like, they just are. And assholes will do the opposite. So it might seem like you're outnumbered or that you're surrounded by just fucking, people that just suck, in so many ways. You have to remind yourself and keep your mind focused on the future and knowing that sometimes you just have to leave certain scenarios to realize that not every single person is an asshole, and the good ones out there remain a little bit more quiet. So when you find someone that's good, that keeps your nervous system calm around them, like you don't feel like you're on edge, you don't feel like they're mocking you, you don't feel like they're talking about you behind your back, they don't feel like they disrespect you in any way, they're not looking down on you, they're not setting you up for failure, they're not laughing at you at your expense. All these negative things that people do, once you're around people that don't do that, you can appreciate them even more because it's such a rare find. It's like finding a gem, and there are gems out there, but you have to find them, and they're going to be hidden a little bit more than, the blowhards that just kind of like walk around with their, chest out, saying whatever the fuck comes to their head. Those are assholes that are going to show you that they're assholes. Those are people that are going to show you that they don't care about you, that they disrespect you, that they talk about you, that they lie about you, that they compete with you. They try to terrorize you, and they think that they're making headway. They're wasting so much energy, because when you stay in a very stable state, it doesn't matter how many people are against you. If they're a bunch of fucking dicks, who cares? Who cares what you say? Who cares what you make up? I don't fucking care. Let them.